we do as financial professionals is for the ultimate benefit of our communities. And I think it's wonderful that we have teams here in this final today. This is an incredible competition. If you are in the last five, I mean, what an incredible achievement that is. The winner of the CFA Institute Research Challenge Global Final is Ateneo de Manila.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So thank you for taking the time to join our information session today. The intent of the information session today is to basically give you an understanding of what the CFA Institute Global Research Challenge is and what the local leg of the research challenge entails. So today we have from the CFA Society, you have Sandonika and Yonita here, who's joined us and who is basically helping us with the coordination side of it. Then as the committee, we also have Vijit, Sulakshan and myself. We're volunteers with the CFA Society and also will be there throughout this entire challenge, assisting you across the whole for the next 6 months at least. If you basically look at what we planned for today, we will first have like a short presentation by Sudakshana. He will run you through the key elements of the research challenge, what it entails, what sort of things we look for, and what you'll get out of this research challenge. And something to mention, which is of interest, is the fact that all three of us, that is Vijit, Sulakshan, and myself, are all three CFA charter holders. And we were also research challenge participants at some point in time previously. So with that being said, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Sulakshana, to run you all through a short deck that we prepared.
Thanks, Anisha. Let me quickly share my screen with you guys. Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Right, okay. Right down to it. So basically, just to give you a context on how big the competition is. So last year, almost more than 6,000 students representing 1,000 universities, almost 100 countries participated in this global challenge. And in Sri Lanka, I think for the Sri Lanka Research Challenge, we had 19 teams participating, out of which University of Sri Jagannathpura's Team A, which you can see on the right-hand top corner of the screen, emerged as victorious. They went on to represent Sri Lanka at the sub-regional levels and went on to the level of regional semi-final levels. So last year's competition was won by University of Sydney. To give you a quick context on what the challenge is, in a nutshell, this is an equity research and evaluation competition where you are getting tested through evaluation, investment report writing, presentation skills, the entire gamut of it. And for students, for the participants mainly, they get first-hand exposure to leading industry professionals in terms of mentors, markers, judges, and they get exposed. They get the real-life learning experience as an equity analyst, exposed to the best practices in equity research, valuations, report writing, and presentations. Along with that, you have other benefits such as profile building, network, and most importantly, there are team prizes, individual and team prizes, as well as opportunity to travel if you progress from the local competition to the regional and global finals and so on. So moving on, in a nutshell, this is what the global competition looks like. Local level, that's a Sri Lanka Research Challenge 23-24. So basically the winner from that competition will advance to sub-regional competition. If there are more than 24 teams competing, the top two teams that rank at the top of the local challenge can go up to the sub-regional level. But last year, I think, like I said earlier, there were only 19 teams. So the top team went on to represent Sri Lanka. And at the end of the local challenge, winners and runners-up will be awarded with a cash prize. So the and just to give you context on the local challenge, so it's basically there's a pre-screening stage followed by a report writing stage, and then the teams who progress from that level go up to the final level where that will be a presentation event. So from local level, you have at the sub-regional level, what happens is you are getting evaluated based on a 10-minute recorded presentation. So the sub-regional level, at the sub-regional level, we will be competing against the Southern Asia countries, including India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. There you will be evaluated purely based on that recorded presentation only. There will be no Q&A session as such. Then if you progress from that, you go up to the regional level where you will be broken down into semi-final groups. And there it will actually be a physical presentation where you will have the opportunity to go abroad, travel abroad, and present in front of the panel. There will be a 10-minute Q&A session afterwards to evaluate the top ranked teams. So you win the semi-final at the regional level, then you advance to the finals of the regional level, where again there will be a physical presentation followed by a 15-minute Q&A. The top two teams of each regional levels will advance to the grand event, that's the global finals, where the format is again a physical presentation followed by a 15-minute Q&A. And the winning university will receive a scholarship worth of 10,000 USDs that can be directly used to support expenses at that university. So in terms of timeline and immediate key next steps, I think Sandhanika has already shared with the faculty mentors an email containing of the case study and the application details. So basically before 31st of October, that's the end of this month, the universities will have to name their teams along with answers to the case study that has to be submitted by 31st of October. And just to highlight something there is no restriction on the number of teams per university. Then by 7th of September, the results of pre-screening stage will be announced, and you will know who will advance to you will be part of the Sri Lanka Research Challenge for 23-24. And 11th of September 23, that's where we are planning on having kickoff meeting, where I think at that point an industry mentor will be assigned to each team, and that's actually the point where you can actually start work on the company. So what happens there is you will get all teams will get assigned one listed company on the Colombo Stock Exchange, where you will do a business overview, industry overview, the global context, and the numbers of the company, basically the historical financials, future forward financials, valuations, the entire gamut of it you will have to look at. So from that point onwards, you have until 20th of October, that will be the next sort of soft deadline to submit any list of questions that you may have on the target company that you have come across during your initial due diligence done on the company. So just to add something there, we have also scheduled some training sessions for the participants. That's from 18th to 22nd that 1 week, to be held at Acute Knowledge Partners. So upon receiving the list of questions that you may have on the target company on 3rd of November 23, we are planning on having an information session with the target company so that you can directly have a interactive Q&A session with the company executives. And then there is a deadline for 17th of November 23. That is when you have to submit the draft report to the industry mentor. So this is the industry mentor that I mentioned earlier. Where each team will get assigned one industry professional, and he or she will give feedback by 24th of November 23. And accordingly, the final report submission date is 15th of September. Almost a month into that, we will announce who are the winners from the report writing stage. Then the teams who progress from that stage will go to their final event that is scheduled at the 27th of February 2024. And during that period, we are also planning on having some training sessions on polishing your presentation skills. Moving on, so team compositions. Basically, a team can consist from a minimum of 3 to a maximum of 5 members. It can be a combination of undergraduates, even graduates granted, but these team members they have to be registered for at least a part-time course under the university. And there are some restrictions imposed by the CFA Society. Basically, for you to be a team member under the Sri Lanka Research Challenge, you can't have participated as a team member in one of the previous research challenges, or you can't be employed within the core investment management profession at the time of the local kickoff meeting. This is excluding internships. So if you're an intern, it is okay for you to participate in the challenge. Or if you are or have been a CFA charter holder, if you have been under investigation by the CFA Institute, you have been convicted by a felony. So these are some of the restrictions where if these apply to you, you will not qualify as a team member. In terms of research and the sources of information, so basically for the entire process, research writing up to the report writing up to the presentation stage, you can only use publicly available information that include financial statements, press releases, news articles, information given by data aggregators, and information that you receive from the target company during the information session. So you can't directly approach any investment professional, excluding your industry mentor or the faculty mentor, to get any sort of help with regards to research writing or the presentation. And you are able to read existing research done on the subject company, but your analysis should be your own, and plagiarism is a big no under the competition. Basically, we have in one of the appendixes, annexures that we have actually annexed the rules on plagiarism. And just to remind something, we will be sharing the slide deck with you guys after the call, so you don't have to take everything down. So the interaction with the target company, as per the rules, we will organize one Q&A session with the target company. And if the company agrees only, we can have another follow-up session before the final event. That's the presentation. So you can't directly or indirectly contact any corporate executive or anyone who's working at the target company to get any sort of information, strategic info, outlook, nothing as such to help your cause in the CFA Research Challenge. But basically, that doesn't mean that Anisha, can you see my screen still?
Yes, I can see.
Right. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, interacting with the target company is a big no, but it doesn't mean that you can't contact the company as a member of the general public. Say if you're doing evaluation for a company in the hotel sector, it doesn't mean that you can't go and dining at that hotel. But for the purposes of the research challenge, you can't approach the target company directly. And but that doesn't exclude you from contacting maybe the customers, the competitors, supply chain in getting your analysis done on the company or the industry. But this contact will have to go through your industry or the faculty mentor. So the objective there is there could be material non-public information. So to give you a quick overlook on that, material non-public information is information that is not readily available to the public, but that might be known by the insiders, basically the employees, the executives, the directors, and so on. So basically, none of this. It's a very paramount thing to keep in mind, that material non-public information is a big no. So not at the, you can't use or source or even cite anything without having the original source. Basically, that's where the industry mentors and the faculty advisors come into picture in terms of interacting with the target company. So moving on, in terms of written report, so a detailed version of this is available in the rule set provided by CFA. And the links for that will be there at the end of the slide deck. So just in a nutshell, how the guidelines for the written report is made, a maximum of 10 A4 size pages, that's for the main content of the report, followed by 10 A4 size pages for your annexures. It's done in English language. Like I mentioned earlier, only using publicly available information. You have to do proper citation of the sources, and basically as a front cover to be included, that is provided by the CFA Institute as well. In terms of marking, so you are given a total marking of 100, and it splits across business description, that's 5, industry overview and company positioning 10, investment summary 15, valuation 20, financial analysis 20, investment risks 15, and ESG 15. The teams who advance through the written report stage will go and present at the final event. So basically, you can use presentation coaches or public speaking resources, but these resources cannot contribute to the content of the presentation. So basically, you can contact someone who can help you with your presentation skills, but he can't say anything relating to your recommendation or any overlook that you have mentioned in the report. And from our side, CFA Society Sri Lanka will organize a coaching. Okay, so basically after that, presentations will have to be emailed to the host a day before the event. And in terms of a few guidelines on the presentation, so basically no props can be used in the presentation, and presentation is 10 minutes. It's limited to 10 minutes plus followed by a 10-minute Q&A session. And on your right hand side, you can see how the presentation is evaluated now. So 20 for analysis, 20 for valuation, ESG 10, presentation 20, Q&A 20, team involvement and materials 5 each. That adds up to 100 marks. In terms of faculty advisors, so like I mentioned earlier, one faculty advisor will be there for each team, and they will be selected by the team's university. And the faculty advisor have to be currently employed in the terms of a teaching capacity at the uni. Basically, your primary responsibility is to provide guidance to the team, as well as provide coordination between the team and the CFA Society Sri Lanka, and help the team in any way that you can basically in conducting meetings, arranging information sessions, etc. So there is there's a maximum time permitted for faculty advisors, that's 10 hours for the written report stage, and additional 3 hours for each final, basically local, sub-regional, regional, and global. And this is something that we wanted to highlight. So as a faculty advisor, you can't conduct any analysis for the team's written report. So you can't you can't contribute in terms of research. You can't you can guide, but there should be it should be limited to purely guidance. Nothing in terms of the content of the report, basically. And in terms of industry mentors, like I mentioned earlier, one mentor for each team will be assigned by the CFA Society. Again, the mentor's role is also to provide guidance, and he will not conduct any analysis, or may not contribute to any research or content in the report, neither the presentation. And basically, for the industry mentor, again, there's a maximum time permitted by the CFA, so that's maximum 6 hours for the written report, and additional 2 hours each for each final. So basically, the next step would be, if you recall, one of the first slides I presented, the first deadline is to send the case study along with this information. So basically, name of university, team names, team name, and the team members' names, email addresses, and other personal the required info, and faculty advisors' name, email address, telephone number, and most importantly, the completed case study that was already shared by one of our colleagues. So basically, that completed case study comprises of the ratio analysis, computation of free cash flow, Porter's 5 forces of Zenith Business Solutions, and a SWOT analysis of Zenith Business Solutions. So the deadline for that is Thursday, 31st August, and you may contact Samnika if you have any concerns on this. So we will be sharing this slide deck with you, and you have all the, we have mentioned all the links here from the first, this sheet is for students. You have the official rules, code of ethics, and recommended readings, etc. And in the ensuing slide, we have the important links for volunteers, along with faculty advisor guidance, industry mentor guidelines, etc. I think that's about it, Inisha, from my end. I apologize for this, everyone. I'm having some technical difficulties over here.